And I see you guys have already figured out the chat. That's good. In my experience, this particular course, you guys already know each other pretty well by the time you take this class, which makes things easier on all of us, especially right here at the beginning. So let's start. Let me go back to sharing the screen. All right. So this class is a basic understanding about, well, birds. We're going to talk about their anatomy. We're going to talk about their evolution, their genetics. I know that most of you are going into pet care specifically. We're going to cover a lot of that information: nutrition, caging, mental and physical health. We are going to also look more closely at specific groups of birds. So we'll talk specifically about parrots and cockatiels and budgers or parakeets, as you may know them. And we'll talk a little bit about wild birds. We'll talk about wildlife rehabilitation and how we research wild birds and figure out what's going on with them in the wild. So this is me. I am an avid bird watcher. I've been teaching this particular course for, probably 7 years, I'm thinking. I have kept birds in the past. I don't currently have any, but I do have experience with bird husbandry. I also have a lot of experience with wild bird species. I've done a lot of wildlife rehabilitation, for example. My name is Diana Davis. You can call me a lot of different things. You can call me Diana. You can call me Professor Davis. You can call me Professor. I'm pretty flexible and I respond to a lot of things. And my pronouns are she and her. So, as you can tell, we are doing this by Zoom this semester. We've got the chat function active, and I see several of you have figured out how to use that. If you aren't familiar with that, either at the top or the bottom of the screen, you'll find a little bar that has a whole bunch of information there. It's got your mute button. So if you want to speak out in class, you have to unmute yourself. It's got the video button if you're willing to be on camera during class. It's not required, but it does help me with things like pacing and making sure everybody's keeping up with the material. It's got the chat function right in the middle. It's got an annotate button. The annotate button can be a lot of fun. You can use that to draw on the whiteboard or on the PowerPoint screen. And you're welcome to do that. And you should have an option for reactions, which allow you to do things like raise your hand or give a thumbs up. You do want to be aware that some people may have children or grandparents or other people in the room, and kind of watch your language. I'm particularly bad about that, so I work very hard to watch my language. We are going to be discussing reproduction at one point in the semester, so that might be something that you want to be aware of if you have children in the household.
Hi, Professor.
Yes, hi.
Hi, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I don't have on the bottom where I can raise my hand and all of that other stuff.
Do you see nothing at the bottom?
I see mute, save video, participants chat, share screen, record, and reactions.
Well, the reactions should be, you click on the reactions and see what comes up there.
Oh, okay. Those are a bunch of emojis.
Yep, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, all right. And I'm not sure how to send the I typed in the chat, good afternoon, but I don't know how to send it.
Just hit enter.
Okay.
Yep, that'll do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, now I will say that I have cats, and they have been known to make an appearance on camera, usually, you know, not the flattering angle of the cat, but you know, you're welcome. If your cat comes in or your dog comes in, we can certainly introduce them to each other, and I'll introduce you to mine if they show up. All right. One of the things we're going to do to kind of break up the class and not have it just be me talking is we're going to have periodic breakout groups. So we're going to start with a first breakout group. And what I want you to do is you're going to make a new friend. I want you to find out the people in your group's names, their pronouns, and something you have in common with them other than being a college student. So pets or career plans or music or sports or TV shows or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm going to give you about 5 minutes in these breakout groups. I have to close the PowerPoint to do that. We're going to have 3 to 4 people in each room, and in 5 minutes, you'll come back to the main class, and if you are willing to, you can introduce your new friend to the rest of the class. Hi, Stephanie.
Oh. Hi, sorry. I was trying to get my volume thing on and then I kicked myself out.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to send you into a group.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey there, we're in breakout groups right now, so I'm going to send you into a group. Okay, looks like we should all be back now. And I have an assistant teacher here. This is Nutmeg. Nutmeg is not happy because he was laying down on the side of my desk when I picked him up. Okay. I knew you guys would appreciate him. All right. So what I want to do now is, does anybody want to introduce any of their new friends?
I'll go, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
So my name's Shannon, and I had Danielle Cote and Tawny in my class, in my group, I mean.
Mhm.
And we all go by she, her. And we all kind of found out that we all have some similar interests, both including animals and the pets we own, but we all actually live near the beach.
Oh,
So that's what we found out about each other.
okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to go?
I'll go. I had Jessica in my group, and both our pronouns are she, her, and we both have dogs with very unique names. I don't even really know how to pronounce hers. It was like Shmiki or something like that. And then my dog's name is Kenai.
Oh, hi.
Thought that was cool that we both had pretty unique names for our pets.
Yeah, nice. Nice to see it. A husky. Is that a husky or a Malamute?
Yeah, he's a husky.
All right, thank you. Anybody else want to go? You guys are a little bit shy on
I
Zoom.
will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I met 3 people and one of their names was Fiona. And we all own all different types of animals in this group. We got dogs, we got cats, we got rabbits, we got fish, we got one that even survived living at Topsfield Fair, and it's still alive today.
Wow.
In one of the girls' fish tanks. So I thought that was pretty amazing that it still survived. And we're all in the pet field. And yeah, so we have that common interest.
Great. Yeah, keeping a fair fish alive, that's something to be proud of. All right. If there's nobody else who wants to speak up, we can move on. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and look at our class Blackboard site. I'm going to the student preview, so it'll look like what you're going to see. All right. So the first place we start is, of course, announcements. I'm going to try and keep the Zoom link at the very top so you can find it easily. Got a general welcome here. If you're emailing me, make sure you email D.I. Davis. There is a D. Davis, Donna Davis. She's a very nice woman, but she's not a faculty member and she does not teach this class. So if you're emailing me, make sure you get that I in there. I also posted, there's a link here that you can, the government is sending out 4 free COVID test kits to every household in the country, and you can apply for your 4 here. If you live in an apartment, it's important that you put the apartment number on the first line, and usually when you fill out online forms, you put the apartment number on the second line. You need to put it on the first line so that they know that the computer can tell it's a distinct address. I'm shocked that the Postal Service can't figure that one out, but you need to do that. All right. Course information. This is the go-to place if you have questions. There's a little bit about me. And I have the information for my other class. I saw this earlier. I messed up and I posted some things for your class on their website and some things for your class on their website. So I've got to go back and fix that. I have a very broad biology knowledge. So if you have biology questions about anything, even if it's not birds, you're welcome to ask me. If it's not related to birds, we may have to talk about it on a private Zoom meeting or by email. But in general, I'm happy to talk about anything. And if you guys want to ask questions about COVID, I also teach a course on epidemics. So I'm keeping up with all of the COVID stuff right now, and I'm quite happy to answer questions on that one as well. This is a picture of me with one of the largest, but unfortunately now extinct birds in the background. That's the skeleton of a terror bird. And if you look, you see that giant egg. That's the egg of the terror bird. This is the egg of an ostrich next to it. So you can get an idea of just how massive birds used to be. You'll find a copy of the syllabus here. You'll find a lot of how-to pages. So I've got a little bit of information about quizzes. Most of the quizzes are going to be largely true, false, multiple choice, maybe a couple of short answer questions. And they come from primarily the lecture material. How to submit writings on Blackboard. We do have a project in this class. So, and I forgot to change the dates. I will go back in and correct the dates on this one. I always find mistakes when I'm going through this. The project is going to be due on April 17th. And it can be about all kinds of bird-related stuff. A focus on a species, migration, the effects of climate change, a bird disease. You do have to get your projects approved in advance. And I have a deadline for that, which is not in this page and will be later this afternoon. The topic request is due March 27th. And you can do a lot of different things with the project. You can write a paper. You can do a presentation to the class or pre-record one, which the class will then see. You can write a song. You can create a graphic novel. You can make a TikTok video. If you've got other ideas, you're welcome to do those as well. To get full credit, I do have to pre-approve the topic, as well as how you're going to present the information. And you're going to have to present me with a list of sources, at least 3. Wow, I really did not update this one. I am now allowing you to use Wikipedia. it's pretty reliable. So feel free to use that as one of your sources.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have to do 700 words or 600? 750 or 600? I saw two different numbers.
Where did you see this? Oh, the 600 is in the syllabus.
Yeah, and it says 750 here.
It is 600.
Okay.
Yep. This, I apologize. I copied it over from another website and I forgot to go in and make the changes. And I'm making notes to go back and check on that. All right. For each of your source, I want you to fill out one of these pages called this CRAP worksheet or CRAP checklist. It's basically a way to determine if your sources are reliable or not. And in just a second, when we go back to the PowerPoint, I'm going to give you some ideas of possible places to get information. And there's a lot of really bad information on the internet, especially regarding care of birds in captivity, what's called husbandry. So I want you to be very, very careful about what information you find on the internet. Like I said, I'm going to get back to that when we go back to the PowerPoint. I've got some information, some advice on how to study, including details on how to do flip cards. A lot of people make flip cards, but don't know exactly how to use them efficiently. There are ways to study smarter rather than spending more time at it. So these are some ways that you can work on studying smarter and faster. I've also got resource links, Blackboard links, links from North Shore for things about accessibility, veteran services. North Shore also, I see your question, Mary, I'm going to get to it in a second. There are also links for food, housing, mental health issues. I mean, if you don't have mental health issues after 2 years of pandemic, you're in incredibly good shape, and I'm really impressed, and I want to know your secret. Okay, so is there anything specific I want in the project? Well, I'm trying to be pretty flexible about this so that you have a lot of freedom in what you're talking about. But if, for example, you wanted to talk about toucans, you could either focus on wild toucans, what they eat, what their predators are, breeding behavior, are they endangered? If they're endangered, why? Or you could focus on toucans in captivity. How do you keep a pet toucan? I don't recommend toucans as pets because they're very, very, very messy birds. They're not as bad as flamingos. Flamingos stink, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. Some of this stuff is diseases, avian pox. This is a disease that often goes around bird feeders. And so that's a really important topic if you want to feed wild birds. The DDT and bald eagles story. DDT was a pesticide. It is now banned because of its effect on the bald eagle. toucans are really, really cute birds. I'm glad to see that you've noticed that they're free ranging in the house. I'm a big fan of especially the larger and more intelligent birds being free range in the house. We're going to explore that in depth all through this semester. Okay. Now it is time for my anti-discrimination rant. I do not care what your skin color is. I do not care what your sex and gender are. I don't care who you love, where you were born, what are your religious beliefs, if you have any. It doesn't matter unless it is interfering with your education. And then I do care. And I care because I want to support equity for students. And I want to, if you're having a problem that's interfering with your education, I want to know about it because I might be able to help, or I might know who you can talk to get support. So I'm kind of clumsy at it, but I really am trying to be an ally for groups that are discriminated against. So if you feel like you're being discriminated against, if you feel like something is causing a lot of problems that makes it harder for you to get your education, let me know. Let me see if I can do something to help. Okay. Grading. What kind of courses are we, what kind of assignments are we doing? Well, most weeks we're going to have a primarily multiple choice quiz and a short answer. The short answers might be 1 or 2 questions, not very long. The multiple choice quiz are going to be generally 10 questions. They're worth 10 points each. I think we have 12 of them scheduled for the semester. I'm only taking the top 10 assignments. So if you get a 1 on one of your quizzes and you don't take another one, those aren't going to affect your grades. Same thing with the short answers. 4 times during the semester, we're going to have review versions of this, longer multiple choice questions, longer short answer questions. Those are worth 25 points each. And again, I'm only counting 3 out of those 4, so I will drop the lowest one there. And then the project, which you can't drop. You kind of have to do that one. And we're working on a point system, so you can keep track of how many points you've earned through the semester. It might be awkward partway through the semester to figure out how you're doing, but you can always reach out to me. And about halfway through the semester, I will post your letter grades and to give you an idea of where you are at that point in the semester. This is our tentative lecture schedule. So you can see what I'm trying to do is on one day of the week having more data heavy kind of material, and on the other day focusing in on a group of birds. There's going to be some bleed over, anatomy and physiology. We might focus on it on Tuesday and have, maybe 10 minutes of it on Thursday. In the past, this class has been 1 day a week. I am so glad it's not anymore, but my lecture material is not exactly, in the past has not been set up for 2 days a week. So we might get some, like I said, spillover on Thursdays. Okay. Let me check my notes here real quick. All right, one thing that I need to go on another little mini rant about is plagiarism. I'm really flexible about a lot of things in this class. I've been teaching community college for over a decade. I'm a first generation college student myself. My undergraduate degree took me 7 years. So I've got some idea of where you're coming from. But plagiarism is where I draw a hard line. Plagiarism is copying somebody else's work and not giving them credit for it. You're stealing their writing and claiming it as your own. There are plagiarism checkers on Blackboard. They're okay. I do use them. I always double check them because sometimes they mark things that they shouldn't. But if I catch you plagiarizing, you will get a 0 on that assignment, and that assignment will count. You cannot drop that assignment. And you may be reported to the college. If you plagiarize after you've gotten your first warning, you may fail the class. I've only had to do that once and it broke my heart. Please don't make me do that again. I hate dealing with plagiarism. Okay. Let's go back to the PowerPoint.
Professor,
Yes,
so we can use something like, we could use something as long as we cite it, right?
absolutely. If you put it in quotation marks and indicate where you got it from, you can absolutely use sources. Okay.
Oh, Professor, I have a question.
Yep.
Do we have to do this like MLA style?
I don't care about the style,
Okay,
as long as I can find the source. In fact, you know, we're using the internet these days. So if you just want to cut and paste the URL, that's fine.
okay, thank you.
All right. So this is from the North Shore website. So you can see this is, if you go to the North Shore site and type in help in the search box, it brings you to this page. So housing assistant, food resources. If you don't already know, North Shore often has free food farmers markets on campus. Once I get the spring schedule, I'll post that to Blackboard. It's good stuff. It's fresh, usually local produce. Occasionally they'll have eggs or meat, but not very often. And it's free. And you do have to say you're coming so they know how much food to bring. And then you go pick it up. Easy. So, and it's not secondhand stuff. So that is on the North Shore website. Oops. Another thing about our assignments, for any assignment that we have throughout the semester, if you're not going to be able to get your assignments in on time, you can request an extension. Send me an email saying, I need an extension. I don't need to know why. You might need an extension because you're sick, or you got called into work and had to work extra, or you're hungover, whatever, doesn't matter. Just write that you need an extension and you get 3 extra weeks. Doesn't sound too bad. As long as you're only using it occasionally, you can have it as many times as you need. If you need it like 6 times in the semester, we should probably talk about what we can do to help you stay up with the material, because it's always harder to catch up than to stay up with everything. All right. I flew through that today. Does anybody have any questions? This is why you should have camera open so that I can see how fast I'm talking. Oh, what's my favorite kind of bird? I like birds in a group called ratites. Ratites are the ostrich, the emu, the cassowary, and a South American bird called a rhea. They're dumb birds. Birds are smart in general. These are dumb birds, but they're goofy too, and I really like those. You do not need any books. No books for this class. If I want you to read something, I will post it on Blackboard. Okay. If there aren't any other questions coming in, I think, does anybody mind if we're done early, our first day, so we can get started next time talking about birds?
I'm
Everybody-
sorry, I have a question.
Go ahead, Mary.
Do we have an assignment that we should be working on tomorrow?
You have you actually have assignments that are due. That is a very good question. You do have assignments that are due on Sunday. So if we go back to the Blackboard page, you see here this link for week 1. I'm really glad you mentioned that because I forgot to go over this part. Every week there will be a page like this, and it will be set up the same way. Topics and learning objectives for the week. So what are we talking about? What do I expect you guys to learn? A checklist of any assignments. So this week we have an introductory quiz that's due Sunday, the 23rd before midnight. You don't need to study for this one. It's mostly about you. And a short answer assignment, again, due the 23rd before midnight. There's a folder for lecture materials and readings. There's going to be a terms and concepts page. It's going to have terminology. So this is for our next lecture. We're going to define these words in class, and I expect you to know these terms. And these are the concepts that we're going to be talking about that I expect you to know. And there's going to be next time, some of the stuff we're going over is pretty information dense, and I will post an outline for that section of the lecture here as well, so you don't have to frantically worry about keeping up. This is also where you can find your assignments. So here's the introductory quiz and the short answer assignment. So those are the assignments you should be working on, but I've got everything due on Sunday before midnight, and everything, all your assignments will be up on or before the previous Monday. So you'll have about a whole week to get them done. Really good question. Thank you. I forgot that part. Beginning of the semester is rough for all of us. Anything else? Okay, in that case, I'll see everybody on Thursday.
Hi, Professor.
Hi.
I would just like to let you know that I will be unable to attend class this Thursday
Okay.
because I will be traveling. I do know that is an unexcused absence, though.
We don't have unexcused absences in this course.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Just make sure you probably will want to look at the recording of the Zoom session so you can learn the material.
Yes, I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.